guys, Rylander here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventure Soundwave.
Oh my god, another Soundwave review? You're taking a look at basically every Soundwave figure that they ever made. Can we just get another Transformer review that isn't Soundwave? We are all eager to see another Transformer figure that isn't Soundwave. You're taking a look at so many Soundwaves, my brain cells are starting to combust by the frickin' second.
Let's just get back to the actual review, please, because this is the dumbest part of the video. I think I'm starting to lose brain cells. Alright, let's just get back right into the review. As you can see, it's Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventure Soundwave. So, yeah, I've taken a look at this figure before. This figure, to be exact. This one right here. I have taken a look at this figure once before, and this was one of my favorite Soundwave figures. Now that I can see, it is definitely not the best Soundwave figure. The best Soundwave figure that I think is probably the Red Series Soundwave. All the Soundwaves that I have, they're equally great, but this one is just a little bit not. I did a review on this guy a while ago, like a way back. Well, not way back, but like when I first moved to this house, and this figure has seen some better days. The legs are floppy as hell. The action gimmick is just laser beak coming out of his chest like a chest burster from Alien. And the transformation was like a couple of steps, like barely anything. But unlike this baby toy right here, this one I prefer way better because I wanted a figure just like that one over there, but that wasn't like a baby toy. Like a decent articulation and, you know, like a transform in not 6 steps. So as you can see, we got the box here. But for some reason, the box that everybody has seen, the one, they don't have this box. For some reason, this is called the Dinobots Unite. Wow, that's really dramatic. I don't care. But I don't know why they decided to go with this box. I don't know what this line has anything to do. But this figure is literally the exact same figure that other people reviewed, but which is with a different box. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I'm not Hasbro. And let's just move on. So as you can see, you got a nice picture there of Soundwave with laser beak on his arm. On the back here, you got all the Dinobots and Dinobots Unite. It's a deluxe class figure. On the back, you can see the figure, and then you can see some of the gimmicks, and he is a calculating spy. I prefer my Soundwave to be a communications officer, but you know, it's modern. Who cares? On the back, you got another picture of Soundwave, and let's just get into the figure because we don't care about this box no more. Anyway, let's take a look at the figure. So here he is, and as you can see, that this guy is way above and beyond what this figure could have done. This figure has a ginormous backpack on the end. The legs are floppy, unlike this figure. All the joints are nice and solid. The legs are floppy, the joints aren't great, and the transformation is a little bit more difficult than that one. And we're going to bring in another Cyberverse Adventures figure, which is Shockwave. So, as you can see, they are from the same line. So, it's great to have 2 of these figures from the same line as well. Nice. So, as you can see here, we have Soundwave, just like the other one, where you have, like, the, kind of like the, I thought that when I first saw this figure, and I got this figure, I thought that he transformed to, like, a, ambulance or something because they look like heart rates. That's not the case, I don't think, anymore. But as you can see, the head sculpt on this guy, very nice, better than this one right here. This one is a little bit more blocky. This one is a little bit more symmetrical, which I do like. And the paint on this, and also, by the way, the paint on everything here is really nice and durable. You won't be paint chipping anything, so anytime soon, which is great. And you can see the really nice Decepticon logo there. And also this one, you can see some scratch marks on the actual window. And unlike that one where he doesn't have laser beak, he doesn't even have an action gimmick. all you have is just the open chest, because he does come with Laserbeak. So you can fit Laserbeak in his chest like so, and it just locks up like that. It doesn't clip in or anything, but it's really nice and tight, so nothing's loose on this figure. Nothing feels loose. So as you can see, we have Laserbeak here in his cassette mode. So let's well, we're not gonna well, yeah. Basically, you got the, classic Laserbeak red there. Let's transform him here, so you can see you got the beak there. So yeah. Flip him out like so. And then there you go. For some reason, this wing right here is a little bit more loose than this one. This one's way tighter. But there you go. That's what Laserbeak looks like. And you can, in fact, peg him on the shoulder of Soundwave, which is great. Does he? Okay, yeah. So you can see that these little pegs on the bottom of his feet here, and they just slowly, they just clip onto his shoulder on his arm like that. So you can have it on his arm, which is great, or you can have it on his shoulder, which is equally great. Which I do appreciate this for. Oh god, I do appreciate him having these pegs on him for him to actually perch, which is awesome. Unlike the Cyberverse, unlike the War for Cybertron trilogy, this Laserbeak right here, I prefer this sculpt for Laserbeak over this one, obviously. But unlike this one right here, he doesn't actually tab onto Soundwave's shoulder or arm. He just kind of sits up there. But this one, you actually have peg holes on his arm and his shoulder that he can actually perch on, which I do appreciate. And for his last accessory, he does come with a little blast effect here. So, it just plugs into his shoulder cannon here. So, yeah, he just plugs into the shoulder cannon, and you can still see that, like, heart rate monitor type detail there. Or their sound waves. Funny. They're probably actually sound waves. But this thing right here, his shoulder cannon actually came detached in the packaging. So it's, and on the box here, it shows that you can plug his shoulder cannon into his hand there, but that is blasphemy, and we ain't. What do you think I am? A Transformers fan that doesn't know Transformers? Obviously, Soundwave is supposed to have a shoulder cannon. He doesn't hold a shoulder cannon. And I'm pretty sure that these sound blasts right here can actually plug into Soundwave's thing here. Bam. There you go. So you have a giant pulse of energy there, so that's actually cool. I'm going to dig into my accessory bag here. This video is just a mess. There are other bits. These bits right here came with the Shockwave. So if you plug that into here, and bam, so you can have a more, smaller projectile or a larger projectile. I prefer the plastic on this one because it's just way more clear. And you can plug this bit into this radar thing here, so you can plug it into there. So either shoulder cannon or that bit. I prefer the shoulder cannon, obviously. And in the chest there, I just want to mention this, that he does have some detail in the chest as well, which is amazing. You can see some red there, some more silver there, and the paint on here is very durable. So nothing's going to be chipping anytime soon, which is great, like I mentioned before. But there is... You may think that this figure is a perfect representation of what I wanted from this. But just like this figure here, there's a large noticeable backpack, and when you turn it to the side here, you can see the backpack, which is, in my opinion, goddamn horrendous. I do not like it at all, and I do not like this gap at all. Why is there a gap? Why is there a gap in the back kibble? Why? And this part right here, where the shoulder cannon attaches to, it is really loose. The shoulder cannon popped up, but it doesn't actually plug in. There is a little tab here where you might think that, like, oh, it might tap into here, right? No, it's too short. It can't even plug in. So it's just annoyingly loose and floppy. To this figure's credit, the back kibble is not annoyingly loose. It's just this part right here. That's just, I don't like that at all. But I cannot forgive that the back kibble even prohibits a waist swivel. As you can see, that you have to lift up the back kibble to even get a waist swivel in there. And even then, there's another piece of kibble, which is the front of the truck mode. So it's attached to his ass. So even if you try to use the waist swivel, they're just going to clank, and that's probably where you're going to cause paint chipping. So why? I don't know. Unlike, at least a Shockwave doesn't have many kibble because he basically just goes on all fours, and there you go. But there's no back kibble, no kibble on that figure at all, which I love. But this guy, I can't escape the kibble. So let's just get, speaking of articulation with the waist and all that, let's actually get into the articulation. So he does have a swivel at the head, no ball joint, which is sad. All the joints that they implemented in this video, they could have easily just meant a ball joint there, but, you know. You got a 360 rotation at the arm, a ratchet in and out, which I was very surprised. I was not expecting a ratchet, so that's amazing. And the joints feel really nice as well. You got a bicep swivel and a ratcheted elbow and a ball joint at the wrist there. You can see the ball joint there. So it can move side to side barely and up and down, and it can swivel as well, so that's amazing. And like I said before, the waist swivel. He can kick that far, and with the back kibble, you literally have to flip up the back kibble, and then he can move back that far. So he does have a fairly good bend at the knee. I'm actually surprised, so he can actually do some kneeling there. So pretty awesome. Great pose ability there. And he does actually have a toe bend there and no pivot. Articulation on this guy is pretty decent. It's basically the exact same articulation that a deluxe class Transformer figure would have, but the fact that they gave him a actual ratcheted in and out at the shoulder and a ratcheted at the elbow, I'm very surprised that they even did that, and it makes the joints on this guy feel really tight. Nothing feels really loose except for that. Unlike this figure, where you can see the bits on here is loose as hell, I don't feel like anything is going to feel loose at all. Nothing's going to feel loose over time, I believe. But I don't like these gaps in the knees here. Don't like the gaps at all. Just like this figure here, we got the gaps. Basically, there's a lot of things on this figure that there are, like, the back kibble is horrendous. The gaps in the knees there and the legs, don't like it at all. But I do really like this figure. This figure is pretty decent. I love it. But you know what? Well, there's no other way you can get behind this thing, these gaps here, because you really do have to fold up the feet for the transformation. And speaking of transformation, this is probably the worst segue to transformation segments I ever did. Let's just get into the transformation. So what you want to do is that you want to fold up the back kibble. Make sure you lose this floppy bit here. And then you're going to have to cover up his head, like so. If it can get in there. Like so. Then you're going to fold up the feet, like so. And then you're going to have to untab the arms here from the wheels. And I do like how the arms actually tab into the middle of the wheel so they don't spin. If they did spin in robot mode, that would have been a pain, so I'm glad that they did that. Then you're going to have to fold this up here. This is just a mess of a thing here. Fold up these things here and fold it in. So how the hell do you do this? Oh, there you go. You fold it up. I'm stupid. It's been a while since I actually transformed this figure, because transforming this figure is kind of a pain in the ass. Come on. Get in there. Come on. What the hell? Excuse me for 1 second when I try to figure out how to actually do this. Okay, there we go. And then you're going to fold the hands down, and there are tabs in there where you could see the tabs there, and then they're just going to tab into there as well. It's not a solid connection, but it works for the time being. And then you're going to close up these side panels that we flipped out before, and you're going to fold that down. And for some reason, this piece right here does tab in, but in robot mode it doesn't. I don't understand. It drives me nuts. So for the legs here, you're going to do the exact same thing that you did with the other figure here, where you have to slide these pegs into the actual thing like so, just like on this figure. Do that. So you're just going to have to slide it in like so. Then you're going to have to flip this around. Oh, hold on. Don't read it to that. Okay, so do the exact same thing that we did before without breaking the figure. Then you're just going to have to try to forcefully plug it in without being a pain. Which this figure just loves to do. It just loves to give me pain and suffering and misery. What the hell? Why is it not going into robot vehicle mode? Why is it not doing that? Okay, there you go. You just kind of have to forcefully. There are tabs right here, as you can see there. You just gotta have to forcefully, even though that you might break it. And then for the kibble that I did before, and then you're just gonna have to. Oh, I messed that up. God damn it. Flip it the other way because I'm stupid. Flip it this way. And then you're just going to have to plug in the front of the truck mode, which I do like. And bam, you have him in vehicle mode. Which I do not like the fact that Soundwave does transform into an actual van. I don't really like that at all. I prefer him to be, you know, like a set player. But other than that, I do really like this figure. Unlike the robot mode where, you know, some of the kibble and stuff flops around. Everything in this feels really nice and solid. Everything compacts together really nicely. And what I do like is that transform Laserbeak back into his cassette mode. The front of his chest becomes the hood of the vehicle. And you can store Laserbeak in the hood, which I do really like. And the shoulder cannon still plugs in the same, like so. But for some strange reason, you can see the hands, like the arms there. Why is that gap even there to begin with? Like, there's no point. And there's no point to this gap here, other than just to tempt me, because you can still see the arms there. I mean, there's no point for the thing. And also, these panel bits here, I'm guessing they're supposed to be doors, but they don't tab in at all. Like, there is a semblance of a tab there that they could easily just, you know, put a tab right there and plug it in, but it doesn't. It's just really loose and goddamn annoying, which I don't like at all. And why? Like, and either that this is supposed to be a reference to Transformers Dark of the Moon, where Soundwave transforms into like a car or whatever, and the doors open up like this. Either that's a reference, or they just have no idea what the hell they're doing. But I do like the fact that the trunk actually kind of swings up and actually plugs in, even though that it's completely unnecessary in the robot mode. But I do like the fact that it actually plugs in. I thought that was really, really nice. And yeah, fits together really nicely. And unlike this mode, where, you know, both of their vehicle modes are equally the same. Unlike this figure, which his legs don't like always to tab in, and you don't have that annoying loose waist as well. So this is this figure in vehicle mode, so you can see the comparison there. So yeah, But on this thing, the chest becomes the trunk, I guess you could call it. So yeah, that's what it looks like there. And this one rolls pretty nicely on the solid surface. This one rolls pretty nicely on the solid surface, but since the legs are so thick, these wheels don't really touch the bottom of the ground or whatever you're using to roll on. These ones do it, but these ones are slightly off the ground, as you can see there. But you know, I don't really care. But that's gonna do it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.